Yeah, good evening. Welcome to the program Web Watch on Flip TV. We're here to look at some things that's happening online. We have so many to discuss this evening. And doing that with me is, my name is Christian Chuka, and I have...
Zubi Glad, you're welcome to WebWatch.
And I'm Olamide, you're welcome to WebWatch.
Yes, we have our amiable governor, sellable governor. He has made it a point of duty to reach out to the electorate, and that's what uh, candidates, government is supposed to do, reaching out to the electorate.
Yeah.
The last time I saw Mr. Sellable, he was at a mechanical shop, he was at the computer village, and he was in a church. I did the research of the church he went, Emeka Obi. So I now ask myself, is it not the Emeka Obi that is in Lagos, or is he in Lagos, the Emeka Obi? I know you know the man.
Yeah, he's an evil pastor. I don't really know.
Emeka Obi, this guy.
No, he's not Harvesters. He visited two churches on Sunday, Harvesters.
He visited
and one other one.
Sele, he visited Harvesters, he visited, yes, the Emeka Obi's church, where he was like playing the talking drum, the samba for the offering.
Wow.
So he was playing it. So it's good that people who are going to lead us will reach out to the electorate. So we're talking about Sonlu. We're also talking about Buhari, Emefiele, and Malami. Now, Buhari came out to say that he is in no way stopping, or he never stopped the CBN governor, nor Malami, from disobeying or heeding to the Supreme Court's order, and that has caused a big problem in the polity. As soon as he gave that statement, that's when everybody started adjusting. So we are going to discuss about that. Also looking at how people are coping with the bank situation. Now, traders are trying to adapt to the cashless policy and still wanting to accept the old Naira note, identifying the new. It is, in this country, I've seen that just you spend old and new Naira note together.
That is how it's supposed to be. When a new note is coming into the system, you give the people a lot of time, whereby the old and new note would coexist together until they gradually phase out the old note.
Okay, let's start with Buhari. He has denied anything involving the disobedience to the Supreme Court. What do you think?
What else would you expect him to do? You know, the pressure is now getting worse, or do I say worser? And and then the heat is too much on him right now, so he doesn't have a choice than to, because the last time I checked, the president of this country is one that we know that hardly obey or yields to the court order. So now that the whole thing, now that the whole thing is like this, he has to shield himself. Yeah, he has to shield himself, and then. But the question there is, when this whole thing started, I understand that the CBN governor and what have you are supposed to listen to him. But I believe that the Supreme Court has the final say. These are the people that they were actually supposed to listen to. You understand? But then, being that the president's...
No, this is how it is. If Supreme Court gives a judgment, every citizen of the country is mandated to obey that court judgment. You don't need somebody to start telling you to do one thing or the other. Just that most Nigerians don't understand from that perspective. Or the only reason why it seems so difficult that this verdict is working on Nigerians, and Nigerians can obey, is because of the banks. So no matter what you want to do, your money is going to come from the banks and go through the banks. Yeah. That's the only way they could hold Nigerians from not obeying.
Mind you, sometime last week, banks were dispensing these old notes, but you can't deposit it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to withdraw the money from the ATM machine, but you can't go back to the bank to deposit the same money you withdrew from your own account.
Yeah.
You understand? So, like I said before, what would you expect the number one citizen of the country to do? He has to shield himself, since the whole thing is not like this. The heat is now much. People are protesting. I saw a video today whereby traders were protesting in Lagos that there's no cash, there's no money, and all of that. So the heat is much, so he had to shield himself first of all. Then you guys can answer for yourself when they come and meet you.
My own is that he is right by shielding himself. Like I said, if Supreme Court gives a verdict, you're not waiting for nobody. to obey that verdict.
You know, I did say something before. Probably they were waiting for this election because you know what they said before now, that they are going to make sure that there will be a free and fair election, the rigging and everything, buying of votes, they will curb it and all of that. So I think that's what they try to do by not allowing the money to circulate like that. But thank God that the last election is this Saturday. So after the election, let's see what's going to happen.
No, we are looking at Buhari like trying to exonerate himself.
Yes, that's the same thing I'm saying.
So I'm saying he is right.
Okay, for
exonerating himself, because he did not stop anybody in our eyes. Like I said, if Supreme Court gives a judgment, it is not Buhari that will tell you to obey that Supreme Court order. You are bound as a citizen to obey it. If they say, okay, 1,500 is legal tender, if you use a legal tender, nobody is going to arrest you. The only way they could manipulate and control everybody, because they have the banks under their control.
But there were insinuations that the presidents did not permit that. There were insinuations. Was I the only one that heard it?
No, yeah, insinuations are there. People are just perspectives are there. But I'm saying that, regardless of the president, his own is not binding on you as a citizen, as a Nigerian. Whether he's talking to Emefiele. If you have the money, you can spend it. Just that they have a system whereby if the money goes there, they can hold it down. You understand? If they say Supreme Court says start spending money, Buhari said no. Emefiele say no, you have the right to spend. Nobody's going to take you to court. Okay. Because the court they are going to take you is not the Supreme Court that said so. So it is binding on us to go by the whatever. It is not Buhari's job to stop Nigerians from using the old Naira note when the Supreme Court has said so. Yeah. You can see when they started pressurizing him and co, he had to exonerate himself. Supreme Court is highest and beyond any president, anybody in the country. Just that Buhari, we have seen and witnessed the past months and years that he's not a Democrat. He and Obasanjo, two of them, they are not Democrats. They don't regard the rule of law. Like what happened in Nnamdi Kanu's case. Let's look at and do research on it. The Court of Appeal gave a judgment. The same Court of Appeal gave a counter judgment. Not that Buhari like flouted the judgment or the order of the court, just that they influenced the system. A judge gave social order. They now transferred the judge, put another judge that had another sitting that gave a different order. They tried doing that with the Supreme Court. You know, Supreme Court sat like 2 or 3 times. Yeah. The first time he gave the order. The second time they tried to influence, but they could not influence because the governors were like pushing and everything. People were pushing, so they could not influence it. That's why they gave up on whatever they are doing. So Buhari exonerated himself. I just blame Emefiele, and I don't even want to talk about Malami. Malami is, for me, I don't. There's some people they are not deserving of a position to defy themselves. Like I said last time, CGN, what they call CGN. Chief Justice of Nigeria went to write exams in another country and he failed woefully. Chief Justice of Nigeria, where we had people like Alele Williams, Gani Fawemi, people like this man, Fauza, Femi Falana, people like Ozekume, people erudites that the system has produced. And you have a Chief Justice of Nigeria that went to write normal exam and he failed. So some people are not deserving of position. Just I blame Emefiele from being used by the system. Look at Emefiele. Now I understand the attitude of people in places, in agencies, in government places of government offices. Hypocrisy. They want to please. Imagine when the president said, "I didn't send you people message." That's when they had to change it. They were like trying to please, be like being a good book of one president or the other. So I don't blame Buhari. If I know where she's going, Buhari for me is not. When I'm talking of people, leaders, he's not a leader. So that is my own.
The system is faulty. You understand? The system itself is faulty. So Emefiele, probably, my opinion, I don't know. Probably, he must have been told some kind of things, or if you do this, there's something like this is gonna happen. This is going to be the consequences and all of that. So he had to like play along to save himself. Yeah. Because this country, you can't say if someone violates a particular law or order, this is exactly what is going to happen to. Because some set of people can come up and say a different thing, and you'll be in the middle of it, probably confused. You understand? So I don't know. You are blaming Emefiele, and I'm blaming the system, because the system itself is faulty. Because people that that runs the system, or should I say pilot the system. They are the ones that make the law, as a matter of fact.
I like her. She's keeping up. She will be a good politician.
What I understand.
Sorry, looking at all this, who are the ones that are going to go back in shame?
See, what I understand about all this, the process whereby Buhari actually distanced himself from this problem, I think personally, from my view, I think it is to some extent politically motivated. Because you realize that before the presidential election, we had 26 governors running to Buhari that we don't want this new Naira policy. Naira scarcity is eating up the people. There were problems, and they said that this Naira scarcity would, on the long run, help Nigerians and to help our economy. And some people actually accepted it, that okay, and then it will curb vote buying. And you will notice that the outcome of the presidential election, it really it had an impact on the outcome of the election. Had it been to some extent, to some extent, it had an impact, because I saw some pictures whereby people were being given a pack of Indomie on the election day, and I saw a series of other videos whereby some people said they collected their account numbers. Some women protested in Ikorodu. They said they promised them that after voting they will give them money, but they didn't give them.
Because
now,
the money is not there.
Imagine there was no Naira scarcity. The vote buying would have been more. It would have been just a normal buying and selling of votes. So I think right now we have the governorship election, and you notice that during the presidential election and the House of Assembly election that we did on February 25th, so many big wigs, they lost their position. They couldn't retain their seat. They couldn't go back to their position. So I think right now, many people like that, many political juggernauts, they are on their toes, which they will be needing everything to ensure that they retain their seat. So I'm seeing this thing not as a means of helping the people. If you believe that you want to use this Naira scarcity to actually, help the economy and help the people, we have now started looking for a way we've adjusted ourselves to transfers. Why don't you leave
to the whole thing?
We've adapted. Why don't you leave this thing till the end of all the elections and let us know that it is 50-50? Why would you do it during the presidential election and remove it during the governorship election?
See, the moment...
So I'm seeing it from the political angle.
The moment the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, purchased the presidential form...
It's an allegation.
It's an allegation.
There are vehicles there, we saw pictures.
You know what about this politics is that there's way you look at it.
Yeah.
Somebody can really, people are desperate. Someone can really buy those vehicles. The vehicles are in a place.
Yeah.
Somebody can really do all those things you're doing. You can see what some candidates are doing just because they want to return. You can see how low they can go. People can do anything just to tarnish. I'm not saying he is. I say it remains until investigation.
Yeah.
It remains an allegation.
Yeah.
Looking at all these things, when I sat back, this policy, I thought that it's affecting the PDP. They know that this article is a heavyweight. So they found a way to make... They are the ones in power. So Naira policy, there's a report that we got, guarantee grant, GTB gave a presidential candidate 500 million naira cash, new note, before the presidential election day. So if you are saying, because the time they had this policy, say so person is it doesn't affect so person, this person is going, no. They have looked at me, because if they allow this money, the PDP has bags, there are money bags also, they could influence the election. So all these things, for me, I think is targeted against a heavyweight, which is the big loser. At the end of the day, you now see that Buhari tells you that Tinubu's presidency stands.
Yeah.
You see how the turnaround is. So
it's already. I think it's something that they've already planned out.
That's what I'm saying.
Well planned out.
That's what I'm saying. So all those governors going, you can see Rufai before they got in power. Everybody says so many things like this general government, blah, blah, blah. When they're in power, they start denying.
Yeah.
Fashola deny. So there's nothing these people cannot do.
There's nothing they can't.
They can stoop so low, do dirty things just to hold on to power. So all these things, they are just acting.
Yeah.
And they were able to sway a lot of Nigerians. All the statements the APC candidate made that went viral, most of them were from Abeokuta. Emilio Coin is from Abeokuta.
Yeah.
Amadibo, Amawale is from Abeokuta. See, there's a pattern to all this. So I sat down, I had to come to the conclusion that whatever is being done has been mapped out by the current government.
Yeah.
You understand? Emefiele has a right to stand his ground. Sanusi was removed by Jonathan's government because he stood his ground.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. As you said that a particular judge gave a judgment during Nnamdi Kanu's time, they transferred him. So let's say had it been Emefiele had stood his ground as the CBN governor, they might have changed him as well.
They will change him.
Because
It will be
brought him
clearer.
into the system.
The plot will be clearer.
But what would the masses have done?
But see,
Nobody would have done anything.
there is. I always say something. We are in a country whereby someone who is holding on to power wouldn't want to leave the power. If you're in a place of position, you wouldn't want to leave that position. You understand? Even the ones that their tenure elapses, they will still look for another position to occupy because
from governor to senate.
Yes, they're not always tired. They're not always tired. I don't know.
I
asked the question was like, what is in that place? Like, what is in that place? You were a governor and then you finish your term. You didn't really do anything for the state that you governed, and then you're vying for a senatorial seat. What are you going there to do? Knowing too well that when you understand, it's just about their own personal interest, what they will acquire for themselves and for their family. Not really about, they don't care about the people. You understand? Yeah. So I believe that Emefiele, even though he has stood his ground, something else would have
something bigger would have been at stake.
Would have happened. So
his hand was
didn't
actually
have a
tied.
chance to listen.
Or else he would just go out of the system.
The system itself is corrupt. And the system is being run by the same people.
Yeah.
You understand? If it is say, if you do and what.
So if you were Emefiele, what would you have done?
Well, I wouldn't want to be him.
Let's assume.
Honestly speaking, I would, because he's
or what do you advise him if you're not
If
him?
I were to be Emefiele, it's a two-way thing. I can either choose to dance to the tune or back out. It's a two-way thing.
See, I like.
But if you still back out, they will bring another person into the system who will dance to their tune. So I think Emefiele was more of, okay, let me just keep my job.
Yeah.
Because even if I live here, if we can't still, the next person wouldn't do what I'm intending to do.
Sanusi, after he was sacked,
Okay.
I think he has much more political career, promising career.
You see that Sanusi?
Emefiele
it boils down to your personal integrity.
Emefiele staying there, his career is finished.
See,
well, you never can say that.
I understand where you're coming from. It's better you resign and save yourself the shame. You understand? So that when you come up tomorrow and vie for a particular position, they will not remember you for the good thing and the way you stood
and
on
there
the side of
might
the
be a
people.
reason why he didn't resign. What if he had involved himself in some kind of
course, there are
where you
stuff
can't
like
just pull out anymore?
But
But if you pull out, they'll feel like you go and review.
They might threaten you.
No,
Exactly.
what he will have done, I will advise him. You can resign voluntarily, without
See, if
causing.
you've involved yourself in some things.
Have you ever in this country, have you ever seen any public office holder resign?
No, we have some, but out of 100%, we have 99.9% that did that. I think somebody did resign. If a deputy governor did resign. Yeah, we can do that research. You can do the research.
Or she
I don't
was
know whether
threatened.
He resigned, whether it's
Oh my goodness. Like, honestly speaking, I always say this: if you are a public servant or you are holding a particular position and you're not doing well, you know that this position, if I continue with this, is going to affect people negatively. Why don't you just leave?
Forget this thing. A system that is wrong, what that system produce will be the wrong kind of persons. For you to grow from the banking sector, we have done so many things to get to that position. So we have bribed, to keep calling central bank, CBN governor. Yeah. So I think what this system is producing is not the best that Nigeria can have that will bring us out of this problem. Anybody you see there, most people you see there, 99% of persons you see there, the system, they have been corrected by the system. They can't give us dividends of democracy. They cannot.
Do they?
like the elections.
Do we even practice democracy in Nigeria?
Do you understand democracy?
Governments by the people, for the government of the people, by the people and for the people. Do we really practice democracy
In Rivers
in
State,
Nigeria?
somebody had to kill people
Well,
as far as I'm
prove a
concerned,
point.
my opinion, I don't think that Nigeria practice democracy, because you can't say it's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Looking at that definition alone, that's not what we do in Nigeria.
and then
And it's so obvious. That's not what we do here. You know.
Okay. If you're watching, you can comment on live chat. Join us in this comment. What do you think? Do you think Buhari should does he have any impact or influence in all this
I actually think he actually has impact. Because how can you say, okay, let's say three of us here now, we are top officials in a particular sector or an agency, and let's say we are a subordinate or something, just like Emefiele and Malami, and let's call our President Muhammadu Buhari. And during those times, before the presidential election, we had 26 governors on our neck, and we refused to obey the court order then.
And
she kept mute. By then, even after the election, she didn't say that she didn't tell us to disobey. Then, no, she didn't tell us. So now, she's now coming out to tell the people, not even us, to tell the people that I didn't tell them to disobey the court. How would we feel?
In a same country, there will be protests.
How would we feel? No, that means we have actually been in the same kind of space before. But you can't just fire both of them. You have to tell the people that, okay, I didn't tell them, and indirectly you are not saying that I told them to disobey.
I actually feel that, you know, when
I think that word is just left for the average Nigerian to interpret it in the way he would understand it.
See, the thing is, I remember when the court first ruled on this Naira old note and new note coexisting, you know, some people actually started collecting the notes, but then you go to the bank wouldn't accept the money. So what do you expect the people to do? You understand? Let's say I have the money, and I go to the bank, I want to make deposits, you know, they tell me, we don't accept this money. What will I do? So it is that market woman who sells vegetables in the market that will take the money from me.
No.
So nobody wants to trade with it. Nobody wants to collect the money from you. So you just stay.
We are largely ignorant.
I also think another problem is that the court was giving orders to the bank. Like the bank should start collecting, but you can't give orders to the bank. The banks would not listen to the court. They listen to Emefiele.
Of course.
And Emefiele is directly under President Muhammadu Buhari.
We're not directly under President Muhammadu Buhari. I think he has a right to insist.
See, he has a right to insist.
But Buhari will not come.
That means it would have been.
No, the president will not come openly.
That means he would have been listening to an higher authority. Then
the president will not come openly and declare, because he knows he's going to breach whatever. If the central bank governor says, like, yes, start. I obey the Supreme Court, start the receiving. President will not, probably might go through the machinery, back machinery, and reconfigure maybe remove him or something. But like going through the law and everything, if he comes out, president cannot go against it. They can use politics,
something like that,
and skim it out. Okay, let's move on. We have the APC. The crisis hit APC over zoning and appointments. They are talking about where the SGF is
Senate
going to,
President.
Senate President is going to, and where the SGF, Secretary General of Federation, Senate President, yes, I think those two, they are looking at the Southeast, and they said the Southeast didn't give them, they even supported Buhari.
They did what?
The Southeast voted for Buhari more than they voted for the President-elect. So it's like a controversy. It seems the South will lose big time.
Well,
in the government.
In this government, in this Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's government, I actually think Tinubu is a very wise politician. Even if the Southeasterners did not vote for him, he would not make that mistake to not zone the Senate presidency to the Southeast, because he would make sure that all hands are on deck. He would ensure that, okay, even if you guys did not vote for me, no problem, we would run this thing together. Oh yeah, you take this position. You are from the north. I am from the southwest.
Who do you think that's in the APC that can become Senate president?
From the south.
Anybody from the southeast.
It can't just be anybody. You can't just give
the person
anybody
must be a senator
position.
now.
You can't
And
give anybody
there are
a
senators in
position.
the house that are from Southeast.
But unfortunately, like
Is Orji Uzokar not from Southeast?
most of the senators, most of them actually lost their place.
Orji
Most
Uzokar
of them.
Just won.
He won.
So
It can as well be.
Yeah, he won.
Okay,
Dave
he
won,
won.
yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Either of the two, they can actually be.
How many votes did they give APC at the presidential election?
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Because if they don't zone that into the Southeast, they can choose not to zone it to Southeast. But I think for peace to reign and for you to actually be able to say that you're running an all-inclusive government, you have to make it balanced. At least the
it's
president
not yet
will be Yoruba.
Uhuru for the president-elect. It remains just like we're discussing what is happening in the
Let's
APC.
just say right now, APC, the president-elect is Yoruba, the vice president-elect is Hausa. Then we can say the senator,
Can be
the
South.
number 3 can be Southeast.
Can be Wike.
Well, I don't know.
Wike is not even part of the...
He's not even out. He's out of the equation, so it can be. And I think
Why-
personally,
why
if I
would-
were
why
to
would
be
see?
the president-elect,
Well,
that is what I would have done.
You
Well,
can't
to be
say like
president-elect.
if I'm to say, I think the office of this Senate president could be going to either the southeast or the south, and in the southeast now probably we'll be looking at 2 people or 2 persons. That's David Umahi of Ebonyi State and a former governor of Abia State who is Orji Uzokar. I don't know for any other person like who actually won or retained their position as a senator. But then going to the south,
Who is
you
there as
know,
a senator?
yeah, we saw a couple of times where the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, had several meetings with
I don't think
But it's not a senator.
can... If you're a senator, that's when
You have to be a
Okay,
senator.
you have to be a
yeah.
senator
Yeah,
for
we
you.
have Akpabio in that mix. I think
Because we have
Akpabio won his constituency, so he's going to be part of that mix. But in Buhari's government, when you look at it, president is
Hausa,
vice president,
Yoruba,
senate president,
Hausa as well,
House of Rep.
Yoruba. So I think right now they would actually use this medium to draw the faces of the Southeasterners.
We can't say because
I think that's what they will use it to do.
I don't know. You know, you actually speaking. That's your opinion, isn't it? So,
Yeah, that's my opinion.
But from how we've what we've always seen and how they've been doing things in this country, like, like my opinion would be this: like, the Igbos or the Southeasterners have always been marginalized for a very long time. You understand? So from what you're trying to say, if it could be,
I think that's what he would just choose to do.
That's if they can
do
be. I wanted to use a particular word, but let me not use it.
I would not want to totally agree that Southeasterners are being marginalized. I just believe that if you put your house in order, you have a strong voice.
Yeah.
And when they say, in Lagos, it seems they say Southeasterners are coming together, like wanting to vote a particular candidate, they're making it a tribal thing.
Yeah.
But when you get to a political, in places like my state, Abia State, there was a video whereby a candidate was threatening to cut the heads of anybody that votes for another party. And the person coming out is an Igbo person.
Like Igbo.
Igbo. It is not a tribal thing now. You are from the same state, probably from the same woman. Then it is politics.
It is politics, sure.
Politics of interest. You see, Bola Ahmed Tinubu calculated his way through. He says he's going to fight dirty, so probably he played dirty through getting what he got. So Easterners are not really democratic people. Easterners are Republican than democratic. So if you are playing democracy, democratic system of government on an Eastern person cannot really play the democratic system of government. What I say with Republican, Eastern believes that he is indigenous to himself, to his views, to his right.
Okay.
In the Southwest, somebody can stand up and say something, everybody follow.
Yeah.
In the North, you understand?
Same thing.
In the North. So, I think this system of government is going to be disadvantageous to the Southeasterners.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Because normally, they can rule and divide. In fact, the issue of Biafra, it is the same Southeast governors that have... Would that happen in...
It wouldn't have happened in...
Somebody is saying that the Boko Haram fighters, they are warriors in the North. That is somebody who is like vying for a presidential position that is defending Boko Haram and bandits. Now look at the Southeast. The governors are the ones spearheading the fight. So Southeasterners, the politics they are playing will put
It's
them
different. Put them apart.
put them under.
Hmm.
Put them under. Like now. Even this Labour Party you're talking about. When we are playing democracy,
Yeah.
it is the people that are more. See, democracy, anybody can become a president or a governor in any state.
Yeah.
The Labour Party, if you don't bring a Yoruba candidate,
Mm-hmm.
whether if you like be preaching, say we know the give sure you are following Peter B. If he's not a Yoruba candidate in Lagos,
Yeah.
that person is going nowhere.
Mm.
He must be a Yoruba candidate. They will play the politics. Yoruba candidates everywhere. So those ones that are getting to House Assembly is because they don't look at it as it's going to threaten it's just minority.
Yeah, minority.
Because even when you go to first act, Igbos are much.
Yeah.
They are so much. So you must at least get, even with that, we are even getting Yoruba candidates.
Mm.
So the politics they play in Nigeria, it will be disadvantage to the kind of politics an Igbo man play. Age grade. In my village, people that are going to give you judgment is not one person. It is a group of persons that are going to give you judgment.
Mm.
Yeah.
So in Yoruba land, it is the Oba they are going to mistreat.
Yeah.
Before you even go and meet the king, they gave one man one title, Okuwoto Ekeneze. That means person they stand up, they be king. So yes, they start.
They would have, the age grade, they would have come together and make that decision before they meet the king.
So the kind
Who's
of
gonna be the last
politics
person they'll
the
meet?
Southeasterners are playing, my own understanding, you might have a different view. I'm saying what I've studied, I understood it, will be disadvantageous.
To the Nigerian
That's why most
policies.
times these parties, they bring tribal politics. And when they bring tribal politics, they know it's going to affect in a way.
Yeah.
So these guys are master gamers.
They know the kind of card they should play at
In
a particular
Nigeria,
time.
give me 4 politicians, Igbo politicians that are thick politicians. Give me 4. Give me 4.
Well,
In the Southwest, I'll give you 4.
in the Southwest.
Southwest, thick politicians.
Like
I'll give you
who?
4.
Who?
We are elect now. Elect.
He's number one.
Elect. We have Obasanjo there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We have
well,
body judge.
I
We have body
understand
judge
you,
there.
I understand.
We have
you.
Adibanjo there. In the Southeast, who? Is it Ezefe? Even the Anambra king, what's his name? What do they call him? Obi of Onitsha.
Okay.
Obi of Onitsha will say something. Another person, a small boy, will say, what are they saying? So the politics are being played by, I know some people agree with it, but that's the real thing.
Yeah, you know, in
I
Igbo they
understand
say
what you're
Igbo
saying, I understand what you're
Wednesday.
saying.
Igbo does not have a king. I am the king of my house. So even if you're a king, you can't come and make decisions for me. You can't come and tell me what will happen in my own house because you were the king. You understand? So I think that's.
I
what
always say
people are
something
trying
that Nigeria. I understand why politicians would always stand up and say, "I would win this election." It's because they know someone like Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Some people will say he won in a dirty manner, he did this, he did that. But I would say something like, if you know how a system works, you have to work in line with that system. The system can't be going to the left-hand side. Even if that left-hand side is wrong, you want to get what the system has in stock, like the goodies in the system. If you are going to the left-hand side, you wouldn't get it. Let's say the right-hand side is even bad. It's for bad people. And the left-hand side is for good people. If you told that good part, you will not win. So you have to, first of all, monitor the system. How does it work? Okay, it works this way. It works through tribal means. You have to play tribal card. After that one, I have to play religious card. I have to guilt trip some people. I have to buy some people. If you do all those kind of things, you would win.
But I think the dynamics are changing now. In the next
it's
5, 6,
changing
7, 10 years,
gradually.
it's going to change.
It's
It will
changing
not. It will
gradually.
not be about party now. It will be about individuals. You can see parties collapsing for a person. Parties
I think
collapse
as
their
long-
structure for another party.
I think if it will change, I think the youth now needs to learn about politics. Mainly,
See, it's not even about the
youth need to learn the
youth
nitty-gritty of
the youth
Nigerian politics.
Are already
Me, I'm into politics already.
No,
The
the
youth
majority
are
of the
really
youth that claim that they are into politics,
You know, there's something.
they don't really understand anything
There's
about politics.
something you say. What you say is politics in Nigeria.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
You understand?
Nigerian
And-
politics.
and it is that Nigerian politics that I believe that we have a problem with. You know, and the way they think that okay, this is the way we do it in Nigeria. Even when we all know that is not the
That
best
is not
way.
the way it's supposed
You
to
understand?
be.
It's not the way it's supposed to be, but we just play that card. It is how we do it here,
Yeah.
and that's where I think the youth needs to come in. The system itself, like I said before, is already corrupt. It's messed up.
Yeah.
And we can't say because the system is mixed up, like what a presidential candidate said, because you know that something is bad, and because that thing is bad, and the person that made it bad is maintaining it, then you should not stick to it. No, it's bad is that it's bad, and because you know it's bad, you have to look for a better way to make it good.
Yeah.
So I believe that's where the youth comes in, and I believe that's what the youth are doing at this point.
That is why I'm
because
saying
everybody's eye, even you and I that are here
Yeah.
today, our eyes are open. Few years ago, or the last election that was conducted, that's 2019, probably will not. What am I even saying? Like, we are not even interested. Whatever they do is their business.
it's their
Nobody
business.
cares about what they do. But this time around, everybody's interested. What are they doing? Why are they doing it this way? Does it have to be this way? You understand? If they continue doing this thing this way, that means we'll not even have a place. But
See.
right now we are in that position whereby you and I can come up and say, okay, now I want to be a councillor of my local government, and you now go.
If you want to be a
You
councillor of
understand?
a local government, what do you think you have to do
That's why I'm coming.
to become the local
In
government
that,
chairman?
that bystand, all those people there, the ones they talk and everything. Let's let them put everybody for. Okay, who will you like? This is going for this is going for that. Who will you vote? See, one thing about politics is that you identify with certain interests.
You have to identify with people.
You identify with certain interests. You
And
don't.
you have to know
That's
how
what
they need.
the governor,
You know what
the
they
governor to be is doing. At the late hour, he's identifying with different
With the
interests.
movers and shakers.
If I want to be a councillor here, I will take a 5 years plan. I'm not going to come and say I'm because
Yeah.
they don't do such.
There's no way
I'll
you
take a
can
5
do
years
it.
plan. I'll look let's say this estate. I'll look for a social center where people come together. I'll go there. I feel
Be
declare.
part of them.
I feel declare.
Before you even declare, you
To-
need to have a goodwill among them.
No,
So they need to
let,
have
let's
this-
talk about
even if-
let's talk about playing the politics.
even if the good
I'll
will
declare or
would-
try and be nice and everything. Everybody
You have
now,
to be nice to the people.
Now, no,
They
you,
would see
if there's a project, you contribute to that project.
contribute.
If
God bless
there's
you.
activism, want to fight, you just be at the front. you
and
fight.
those
You
and
have
if you
spoken.
see a particular person that those crowd are loyal to, you have
You align.
to attach yourself with that person. Align, even if you have a divided interest before then. You have to make, even if you don't like, you don't need to like the person at all. Just make sure you're with the person. Even if you take picture with the person, just do like, okay, I'll be doing small, be doing as if you don't know anything. You first of all act like a fool in politics to get to someone that you need something from. So by the time you get too close to the person and the person can't even detach himself anymore, even if you're a bad person, people will be seeing you in the light of the person you are attached to. So if you want to be a president now, in this current Nigerian setting that we have now,
I'm talking about the Nigeria that we are changing. I'm talking about the present
calm
Nigeria
down.
now.
The youths now, they are more emotional than political. If they want to get to the presidency, to the top, you see, you said 5 years for councillor, then you have to set like 25 years or 20 years minimum, because now you are going out of your comfort zone. You would spread to all your states. All that states are aligned with those people. They have to know you. You need to have impact there. You have to look like a savior to them, even if you are
all the presidential candidates.
all the
now,
presidential candidates.
they didn't start 20 years ago.
No, they
Now.
didn't start 20
Yeah,
years
sure.
ago.
The four major presidential,
Yeah.
they didn't start 20 years ago. They started somewhere. Even Sonlu started before Peter Obi. Sonlu started during the time of Abiola.
Yeah.
It was the forefront of the people that saying that.
Sanwo-Olu,
Sorry.
Bola Tinubu.
No, what's his name?
What's
The president candidate, the chairman, the women leader,
Shore.
Shore.
Yeah.
Shore started before.
Yeah, started during the times of Abiola. And he's still been seen now as an SCG president.
So,
Yeah.
so
So you know,
I think politics is like if one is being, but just
Nigerian
start planning
politics,
now.
he will start planning it
So
now,
let's
start
talk about
making
the Lagos
some
State.
alignment.
We have the deputy governor of the PDP visiting churches. The
Deputy
APC.
governor of PDP.
Yes, that's Funke.
Okay,
Okay.
Funke Akindele.
They are now cutting different social houses.
Well, see,
What do you think might be the reason?
Personally, I'm
Okay.
still seeing the aspirant of PDP, both the governorship aspirant and the deputy. I'm still seeing them like, what would I say, like Nollywood. They're like actor and actresses. I don't know why.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, I can't really feel them.
As I can't really
I can't
see them
really
in
feel
this
them.
under the political spotlight.
I can't
They're
feel
still
them.
looking like artists to me. I don't know.
I said they have relegated this system has relegated a particular party.
In Lagos State.
Like yes,
You mean
the
PDP?
system now choosing. I'm not in the party, but really they are not that
from
popular.
what we are seeing out
They are
there.
not that popular like that. And I think Labour Party has made a change, like a drastic change. People are now becoming irrelevant. Even though you have the power, you now become irrelevant. Because now it seems people, like, I don't know, these our governor have suffered though.
Either I saw a post of what
God.
human rights activist Femi Falana, what he said this morning. He said that politics in Nigeria have changed.
Yeah.
We are now in that position whereby the godfatherism
So
and
they've
everything.
broken that structure,
Things.
that myth of structure.
Yes.
They've actually
So
removed it.
I believe that the most of the governorship candidates that we have in Lagos, they've now come to understand that the structure are actually the people. You can't remove the people from the structure.
They understand, just
You
that
understand?
But
they
see-
felt
see,
like
the-
the people have taken back the power. That's why they are doing what they are
So
doing.
I
now
think
wait,
the
now the
people
question
too-
is, do they really have to wait till the dying minutes to start doing what they are doing
Well,
now?
They
Why
never,
didn't
they never
do it
expected
before?
what hit them.
I think the reality of this thing is that even the people that we said that power has returned back to the people, are the people really realistic, or they are
They're emotional.
doing it based on
They're
emotion?
emotional.
They are emotional. That's the way I'm
They're
seeing them. As I'm not saying I'm a politician yet, but I still have a kind of knowledge about Nigerian politics. They are more emotional than logical about these aspirants.
Yeah,
That's what I can say about them.
emotional.
That's why I said most of them, majority of the youth now that are pushing, should drop their emotion. In the next maybe 4 years from now to the next election, they should learn about the pure politics. Most of them, see, if they want to actually get into the system, you have to first of all learn how this thing works. You have a good intention, but first of all learn how the system works. Get to the top, then let us see your.
Because
See,
why I
you
say
said-
they are emotional is because just the outcome of the election, people are just giving up.
See,
Majority are giving up.
whether they are emotional or they are political or they are not emotional.
And-
who made them emotional?
And some are actually.
That's the first question.
See,
I'm
in
asking.
politics, there is no emotions.
No, wait. It's not about okay whether there is emotion or political or whatever. Even if they are being emotional at this point, who made them emotional? You put them in that state, so whatever they
Yeah.
are reacting to, you don't have to blame them. Do you understand?
We are not blaming them. we
No,
are not
wait.
blaming
I'm
them.
coming still. I'm coming. Okay, now if I should start mentioning names, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, of the All Progressives Congress.
Okay.
That's Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
Okay.
Before now, we don't see him in any social place except for political gatherings.
Okay.
You understand? And all of a sudden, he's coming out now. You see him in shopping malls.
He went to Winners.
He's
They
going to churches, and now I believe that. Okay, he's also the people are emotional. He wants to play on the emotions as well.
Of
Because that's why I
course.
see what is happening
Of
now.
course, he has
Because
to
he wants to
jump
get
on
them.
But I don't think
vote.
I don't think it's working. No.
He's trying to get a
I'm
pity
seeing
vote,
some.
if you should ask me.
I checked this Twitter page yesterday and I saw some comments there. Some people are now saying that this thing is getting too much. It's now like as if they are now feeling pity.
That's
for-
why I said
for
he
someone
wants
who-
to, like.
He will tap
if-
into the emotion as well now.
Thank you. That's why I said whether they are being logical or
see,
whatever, even if they are being
see.
emotional, who made them emotional?
Now, if they are being emotional,
You
they
understand?
would get used by another politician. That is it. When you are
It is
too,
not
when
only
you are
him that's in
emotional,
the race now.
it's not only so. When you are emotional, you
will
will just
capitalize on that,
blindly vote for another person.
You
So
know,
when the emotion is now down, you now realize that this
irrespective.
Remember
of what's
during
happening,
Goodluck Jonathan?
Anybody will vote.
During-
Whoever you want to vote for.
When Buhari
is who
was
you
coming,
vote for. Do you
they
understand? No
painted
matter how
Jonathan as
much-
this bad person, and people felt like we don't even want to smell anything. Jonathan,
That's
just bring
in-
Buhari. They now
that's
painted
in the
Buhari like a
Southwest, though.
savior, even in the north.
That's in the south.
In the north, say Baba
I
everywhere.
was in the east. You understand? I was in the east, and I don't really know because even when Jonathan lost the election to Muhammadu Buhari,
Yeah.
we felt that it is the Yoruba people that elected this man because I didn't really see the Igbos vote him
Okay.
because I was in the east. You understand? So the say Baba, the emotional something, Jonathan did not work. Didn't really come from the side
You-
where
you know-
we are
you
at
know-
that point. It came from here because they probably there was another strong weight that tried to convince the people, let's take
Yeah.
this man away. He's not doing anything for us,
Yeah.
and they had to listen.
You know,
not only
Nigeria-
because they were emotional, but because they listened to someone that they believed in.
They played
You
on
understand?
Nigerians' emotion. You know, Nigeria is like this table now, having 3 legs. One is Hausa, one is Igbo, one is Yoruba. Once 2 align, they will outnumber the remaining one. once two aligned. So you notice during the Buhari time, when they were bringing him, the north were for him, the southwest were for him, and part of the is this central or something, or middle belt as well. He had it, so he was able to win. And majority of the people then, they didn't really know much about this man, but they released a kind of documentary then, playing on people's emotion. Politics is a game of emotion. So if the youth are trying to take off power, we need to be able to control our emotion. Even if we are angry at someone, we should be able to say, let's look beyond our anger. What has this person done? What do we still have to give? Can we use this person to actually achieve our aim?
You know,
we should be able to be thinking calculatively.
There's something,
not from emotional angle. Once we get emotional, another person would explore that emotion and start playing himself like something else. And we end up voting blindly.
And the reason why I say what I say sometimes, the way I say it, is because I'm from this particular side of the country, whereby I've tried to understand how we reason there and how we do our own thing. Like, I don't think, or my opinion, you might have something different though. A typical Igbo man doesn't really, like, he only believes on what he wants to do, not what you're telling him. You understand? And what he has seen you do that either destroyed him or made him.
Okay.
You understand? If you've done something against an Igbo man, he's going to bear that grudge with you for years. And no matter what you say or do to him, he's not going to change it for nothing. You understand? So, like, we've been in Lagos, at least we've been seeing things that are happening. No matter how much you want to campaign and tell them that it's not going to happen again, you've already hurt them before. They're not going to listen to you. And that's why
I'm saying.
Now, that's why I'm saying that majority of those people that are nailing Sanwo-Olu, they are nailing because of the answers. Majorly. Ask anybody of them, any one of them.
The Okada and business of people that were destroyed and all
majorly,
of that.
Majority of them, ask any youth now. They will tell you, once you bring out, okay, he did this, he did that, they just tell you, those people that would kill that at Tollgate. I'm not trying to justify anything that he did wrong or something. You can't be a president and do everything right. Or you governor and do everything right. It's not possible. There will be some things you will do that will be good, and there will be some parts whereby you will offend the people.
But there's still
if we are
one
now
question
voting
that remained or remains unanswered.
What was the question?
You understand? Should I go ahead with the question?
Go ahead now. Go ahead.
Who ordered the killing at the Lekki Tollgate? That question is still.
No.
That
question.
I want to promise you that question will not be answered till
wait first. See that question.
The end of Nigeria.
See that question. That question has an answer already.
For my own understanding, it is one of the reasons why some people be like, okay, you're not giving answers
that question,
to this question, and it's a problem.
See that question
because
has
some
an answer.
people need answers to that question, but you're not giving it.
We know the answer to the question, but we want it to come from the governor's mouth.
Thank you.
I think that's the problem we are having.
That is
because
it.
normally
and you're not ready
you
to
feel
provide
like
the answer, and everybody will be like, since you don't want answer.
Normally.
So what is the assurance that what happened before is not
normally you would feel, normally we know
because they're not giving us an answer.
Normally we know that no governor can order any soldier to shoot at anybody. We know that one, number one. Is either the commander-in-chief of the chief of army staff too. But the question, I think the question should have been who invited, not who ordered. If you're asking who ordered, it must be a military personnel. We should have been who invited them. So that person has to be in this vicinity that we are.
If you order invite, it's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. If
you invite, if they refuse to order them to go there, it is a different ball game.
If you ask who invited, if you ask who invited, you are giving him a chance to defend himself because he will say, because of the chaos.
He will say what?
Because of the chaos.
Okay.
I invited so that they can
exactly. I invited. That is
so
it.
The killing. I didn't order the killing.
See, that's the question.
Invited?
It's not who invited. See, you can invite to be like, okay, let's go check what is happening there.
Okay.
You understand?
It is what you tell them that they will act on.
No,
it is.
No,
I don't think
it's true.
If
apply for,
even if they say that they want to come down, they will first of all call him. What's going on in your area? Okay, can we come in? And even if they want to come in, if he says that I would handle the situation, he's a government.
Remember the issue.
You can still say he can handle
the
it.
issue is there.
But once you give them that opportunity, even if they call you like we are hearing some information that at Lekki Tollgate things are now going haywire, we are coming there now. As the governor, if you tell them that they are my people, I'm talking to them now, they will calm down.
When they are destroying.
If you tell them that you are the governor of the state, as the governor of the state, you have the right to secure the lives and properties, and it's even your state. It's not someone else's state. I didn't call for help or something. They would actually leave you alone. But for them to have come there and even shot people, then that means someone actually invited them. Someone who is in that space invited them. I think that's
And
if I were to ask him directly. I would
pity for the
say,
governor,
who
because I think
invited
the
them?
governor is and Emefiele, they are almost similar in this similar situation.
It's as if they are in a situation whereby their hands are tied.
Yeah.
I think so. They are in a situation whereby their hands are actually tied.
Yeah,
and if you
yeah,
keep on
it's
asking,
true.
you can't get the answer from me. That's
see,
just the truth.
that's the truth, right?
Their hands are tied.
I like the man. Truth be told, I actually do like
No,
him.
he's a good
He's
guy.
a good person.
The first time I saw him like this, you not think
He
you
looks-
not know
he looks
you
so
think
calm.
you think he's the CSO
The man
You
actually
even think
looks
it's
so
CSO.
But wait, now the problem there
or
is
PA to the governor.
Lagos State once had a governor who was overthrown, if I'm allowed to use that word, after first term.
No overthrown per se, was not allowed to run for the second time.
What's the difference?
They didn't give him
He
the
was
certificate
he
of
was
the tongue.
he was removed
They collect his certificate
because
of the
Lagos
tongue.
State is being, you get as they do things for here, understand? So after the first term, the man wasn't allowed to continue, probably, or what I heard, which is
He's
not
within the
verified,
party. He's within the party.
that because he wasn't submissive.
No. What I heard is
To
that
the authority that brought him in.
they said there was a blueprint. Like they have a blueprint, whereby development will be
A
going.
blueprint
That
of
he
corruption.
didn't. I don't know. I wouldn't know that. I think he actually, what they said from what I heard, allegedly that he didn't follow the blueprint.
But
That's
not,
right.
but the
In
question
your house,
was he doing
in
well?
your house,
Yeah.
in
He did well.
in
Yeah,
in
he did
meg-
well.
mega
He did
cities
well.
like Lagos,
Yeah.
they buy your dustbin from you in your house from 500 naira. They increase to 1,000.
Yeah.
Like they buy in other places. Oh,
They buy what? They buy those
they
bins.
buy dirt now from you.
Okay.
Because they process it. They process it. Let's look at the blueprint now. Let's look at the blueprint.
We
pay-
have not seen the blueprint.
You said they didn't follow a blueprint.
They
now.
said. That's why I told you they said. I was not there when they were writing the blueprint. I didn't see the copy of the blueprint. They said he didn't follow. That's why I used they said. He didn't follow the blueprint. They said. Has been alleged by some part of the, by some people.
yeah, I was trying to say something.
Let me
before
finish.
then.
That dustbin, 1.5.
Okay.
There's no potable water.
Where are they buying this 1.5? I bet man go they sell my dustbin.
No, not by like you pay a month. We pay for like.
But wait, are they not even supposed to be paying us for buying our debt?
That's what I'm saying. The blueprints. Where is the blueprint? Because you know one thing about this thing is that politicians, they don't have anything to offer. All they want to do is just to secure
Secure the bag.
They don't have anything to offer. Just look at them. They don't have anything. For the past 60 years, we have had professors. We have juggernaut
I
political
think
empire.
Nigerian politicians, to be precise.
You have had that have ruled us, generals upon generals. At the end of the day, there's nothing they can show for. They cannot fix electricity. No road system. Some villages are still using mud.
Like my village now.
Some cities are not planned, despite the billions and trillions. So all these things is just a cacophony of people that just want to secure power. Imagine somebody in Lagos will tell somebody that if you vote for so person, is that not madness?
Well, that's why I'm advising the youth now that we need to understand how this system works and how we can
a
get into
video
the system.
where somebody break bottle on police head is becoming something that is
I
going
saw
viral.
the video. I saw
Can that happen
comments
in the
there,
United
they said-
States?
The comment that they said maybe the guy has been sentenced or something like that. According to the comment I saw.
Yeah, the same thing people are still using. Can that happen in the United States? That you are even playing itself? You're using it as caricature.
In Nigeria,
I'm
the impunity
sorry.
is just everywhere.
Nigeria
You do things and go scot-free with it.
looking
You
like
and
a
say
lawless
anything.
country. I don't know.
Something like that.
Somebody that went to school, somebody that said I have B, MB. At the end of the day, there's nothing to show for it.
Most of the BSc, it is not. How do they say
It's
that?
not about the certificate.
They acquired them or is being.
Obasanjo as a president for 8 years, head of state for 8 years.
Yeah.
Whether there's nothing to show.
He brought GSM to Nigeria.
No, don't tell me he brought. It is Abacha that even. You are not. You haven't saying he brought GSM. People invented GSM.
Oh, you do okay?
If you have money, I know go bring Starlink come Nigeria.
Starlink is in Nigeria already.
Somebody built a certain place. Somebody ask, is it your father's money? You are giving this money built so. Is it your father's money or your family money?
You know, that is see. When I hear things like that, I'm like, where are they
So at the end of the day, there's nothing.
I built this place. Now your money take build down.
And there's nothing they achieved. All the leaders from the time of even
we can't say
the
they
colonial
didn't achieve
matter.
anything.
I will come on to that, what they achieved.
Okay.
The colonial masters, the blueprint of the colonial masters is what is even showing. Even the military had more impact
How?
when it comes to development in Nigeria. We
How?
use Lagos as an example.
Okay.
National Theatre will build them. Third Mainland Bridge will build them.
Okay.
Lagos Island, all those buildings, who build them?
Lagos Island. Which part?
The main Lagos Island now.
Lekki, VI.
Yes, the blueprint. Let me use the blueprint. The blueprint of Lagos Island has been already mapped out. Who built them?
Well, those white
Any
people
major,
build it.
any major project in Lagos.
Okay.
Tell me.
Major projects. All those Lekki, VI, they were not there in the.
Is it a
80s
major
like
project?
that.
I mentioned 2 major projects. I said Third Mainland Bridge is a major project.
Yeah.
National Theatre is a major
The
project.
Deep Blue Sea, the Lekki Deep Sea Port is a major project.
You know one thing about.
So we see.
I want to reply
and I've
to that.
actually start with
I want to
people.
reply to that.
So
Lekki
I can't
Deep.
just say that. I can't say
The
that.
Third Mainland Bridge.
Okay.
Almost half of Lagosians use it.
Yeah.
Whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whatever.
Yeah.
The National Theatre, some of us from school, we don't go, we use them.
I
Many
don't
things.
really- I'm not really sure. many
So
people
the
use
Lekki
it,
Deep Blue Sea,
Deep Sea Port.
deep sea port.
Yeah.
How many people? They will say it's going to give us IGR.
It
IGR.
was in the plan right from the start, but now that they actually did it.
Now they opened up Lekki.
Okay.
How many Lagosians can afford to stay in Lekki?
You know these things, they are running it business-wise.
So you don't
That is how
don't
they
tell
are
me that
running
it is.
Then
They are running it
it's someone's
business-wise.
business. It's a business.
Well, I don't know if someone knows it too, but they are running
Then
it
it's-
business-wise
then
because
it's
you notice that
someone's
all these
business.
places, at times they have been acquired by foreigners, by Lebanese. I
Go there, you see that
I have a
this one
cousin who works there.
a mark
He will
this
tell
one
you
somebody.
that all these big buildings that you'll be seeing, it's not been, majority of them are not being owned by Nigerians.
See, I don't know. I don't
They
know.
only,
to
you know,
me,
all
to
those-
me, when
okay.
I hear someone say achievements, what I was able to achieve, what first thing to me, what I would look at is the things that you achieve. How many people are benefiting from it?
Okay.
Do you understand? Let's say there is a free medical center where that is accessible. Anybody can walk in there and get free medical treatment.
The train accident.
You understand?
People outside. That is a major. The state. It's major. Lasuth is
Major
not.
hospital, of course
It's
not.
not all these Ifakojaye, whatever. This one you
No.
go by the side. A major facility
Yeah.
cannot contain. Now people are start staying outside. That is the blueprint.
That tells you that they need to even build more. and
That's
more.
what, that's what I'm saying.
tells you that
And
they need
then,
to
For
and then,
23
and
years,
then, and then
24,
let's look
23 years.
Let's look at okay now. The BRT movement in Lagos, okay, most people are benefiting from it. Okay, it's an achievement if you ask me.
Yeah.
Okay, aside of that, then let's talk about the public schools that are in Lagos State. How standard are they? Are people the children of the common man, are they comfortably going there? Are they actually getting what they are supposed to in those places?
If
You
it
know,
is,
then-
if it is school, if it is public school, no, I give that to them.
You know,
If it
then
is public schools.
then
Me,
You
I-
can't
I-
actually
I-
say that from 1960 they didn't achieve anything. It's not possible. We're
just-
lying to ourselves.
Just with
That they
with
didn't
all
achieve
the
anything.
mineral resources,
Since 1960,
with the
no, we can't say
the
that.
mineral resources,
Yeah.
with all that we have earned, with everything, what has
We can
these
say
leaders
that they
achieved.
need to do more, but we can't say they did not achieve
What is
anything.
one
in
thing that
quotes.
is basic? They have really achieved 70%. Any project that is
See,
basic.
we can't say that they did not achieve anything in quote. We can say they should have done more because Nigeria has plenty money. They
If
should
you're a
have been
teacher,
able to
you are
do
marking a
more.
student. If the student get 45,
Yeah.
you can say you can do more.
Yeah.
But if the student get 10, you
If the
tell,
student was having minus before, uncle.
if the student get 10, what will you write? You can
Wait,
do more.
if the student was having minus before, you know it's progress.
Basic.
Yeah.
We have basic. Potable water,
Yeah,
shelter,
yeah.
electricity.
How many states have potable water?
You say they have
Some
you
countries
say they have achieved something now.
Yeah.
I say, at least if even though nothing, just potable water.
See, that Lagos Ibadan Express Road is not like that before. Even where I schooled, Abeokuta, the entire Abeokuta road was not like that before Amosun became their governor there. The whole Abeokuta that I have seen today, any road that you see there, that road was like just one lane before. It turned into be about eight lanes, 8 go, 8 come. If you get to Abeokuta today, everything you're seeing there, everything is being done by Amosun. So if we say that they didn't do anything at all, we can say they should have been able to fix electricity to do other things, but we can't just rubbish all of them that they didn't do anything.
It's just like
it's not
it's just
about-
like Wike that built Wike that built bridges,
Yeah.
bridges.
Yeah.
Bridges.
If
That's
you didn't build any bridge at all, you won't see anything there. And the former governor before Wike, if he didn't do anything, you see, what I'm against is using that word anything. Like they didn't do anything.
Like
Okay.
I
They
said before,
maybe
like
they
I
have
said
maybe
before.
they did the barest minimum. They did very small thing, but
Very
they can
small-
actually do
very
better.
small thing with the whole
With
whole
the
time
own
they
resources,
had,
that is
and
what
the
we
whole
can
resources
say.
that you
But
have.
saying they didn't do
the
anything,
only thing that
nah,
you can
nah.
achieve is just this thing that anybody can as well do.
No, you see,
Anybody could have
for
done
60
that.
years at least something. Like, let's hold on to something.
Yeah.
Okay, for instance, now
You're talking about
the-
government. I'm
the-
saying
the-
the government.
You know the entire government.
See-
See, this is why at times I don't used to blame president. President cannot do everything alone. If a local government chairman fails, it will tell on the president. We will blame the president. If a governor, do you know they have allocations? They have allocations. They have so many things being given to governors. So many allocations are being given to them. There is what's it called? Security vote or something like that they give to them. Every time they collect this money, what are they using it for? But we realize that when governors fail, we say that the president has failed. But the president didn't refuse to give them all this allocation. What did they use it for? Now look at the northwest and the northeast. They have the most population in poverty, about 133. What are the governors doing there?
They've done well. They are still doing well.
So that means if we want to nail the president,
but
we have to
then-
nail the entire system.
Of course,
That those governors
they-
in that state,
see,
let us nail them.
Balogun.
If you okay, let's say if you are a governor now, okay, if you have just been elected as a governor, if you don't outperform your predecessor or keep that level that your predecessor left you, then you failed.
It's not
That's
really-
what I would always say.
That is where we are supposed to be, right?
But-
you are you are a governor of a state,
Yeah.
or you are a president of a country, and then you assign a particular project to a particular local government, and then you leave it there. That's not the end of your job. In fact, that's where your job begins.
That's
because
where your job
you need
begins
to
now.
know what they were able to do. You need to inspect what is going on. You don't just leave it there
Can you
and rest.
You cannot remove them now.
It's not as if you remove them. You
Yeah.
inspect what they've done, what they are doing.
See, majority of them
I understand that
them.
some time ago there was a particular governor that governed Imo State. I won't mention his name. You know, every 6 months he was busy rehabilitating roads,
Okay.
and the roads will spoil after 3 months. You understand? So that governor too will come up and say, "I did work," but he worked. That was China roads that every 3 months.
You know
How
that
can you do
you know
road now?
you know that road.
Next 3 months, the
Because
road
when
will now
they were
spoil.
putting
You know that road that leads to Ajayi Road from the bus stop. That road that you normally pass, that you have a corner
What's the name of this road?
that leads to
Mokwolu.
Mokolu Road.
Yeah.
The road have been done like 3 times because I've been in Okara for like say 18-20 years.
Yeah.
3 times, and that road is still bad. So these are the people that will come and tell you that we did
then
something.
those
We
people,
work on the road.
those
We did something.
contractors,
Done the
see,
road
those
better.
contractors should be held responsible.
No, let's leave that.
I
Let's leave that.
remember when
Let's leave-
Fashola was the governor.
if a
This
local
road
government
that
chairman
is
wants to
here
work,
has been done for so many years. That road, that Yaya Baton road, was done by Fashola, and there is no
Wait,
crack on that road.
Let me ask you something. It was done by Fashola.
Yeah.
He inspected the road, isn't it?
See, he was always moving
Thank you.
around.
That's the issue. That's
was
what I'm talking
always
about.
moving
you can't
around.
give a project and then you leave it. You need to know, okay, what materials are they using to work on this? We need to inspect what they are using to work on this road.
Yeah.
You can't just assign the project and then you go and sleep. I've given them money. You will find out that the money you give them, they will go and share it among themselves. And then they will now call
No,
bricklayers to come and work on the road.
and do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That those
So will you
governors.
say they have achieved something?
That's
At
why-
least they did something.
wait,
Will you
that's
say
why- that's what
they
I'm
should
saying.
improve on what they did?
Wait, first. That's what I'm saying.
Because-
We should hold those governors responsible. If as Fashola was inspecting those projects, they are doing the same thing in Bauchi, doing it in Kaduna, in every state in Nigeria. Nigeria would not be in this place today now.
That's what
And
I'm
Tinubu
saying.
said he wanted to bring electricity then. He said it that the federal government they didn't allow him. They said they have to put it in the national grid. Let's say all the states. Okay, wait. Why would a state himself won't have total autonomy over the whole system in that geographical location? Why? Then we say that Nigeria is not moving forward.
Federal system.
Then that means we put everything on the federal system, which we have to put it on the state. It is only the governor that knows the language you speak with his people. Someone who is in Abuja can't be speaking to Bauchi and Lagos and Ogun and all of them at the same time. It's not possible. So we have to actually decentralize this thing. The power we have too much is in the center, It is not supposed to be so. Let the governor of Ogun State be in charge of entire Ogun State. If he fails, let's nail him, not the president. Let him give him total autonomy. Let him be able to manage resources there.
See,
it's not as if we will now say, if it's still linked to that center.
The governors too, they have.
It is still linked to that center.
They have roles to play.
They have the huge role.
As a governor,
they are the president of their state.
A particular amount of money was mapped out for you to work on this particular project, and because of your greedy nature, or because you want to slash the money and everything, you now use a lesser quality of material to work on this thing, and then what are we?
That's what I'm saying.
The president.
That's what I'm saying. They should give him the total. So when we know that you are totally in charge, we will not blame the president anymore. If you fail or you do any rubbish project, we need you immediately. You go out and bring another person. Finish.
Okay. Voice community says greetings to you all at Flip TV, and say the country parades as a federal republic, but in actual fact, is a territory of GB. What's GB? I don't know what
maybe
GB.
Territory of Great Britain or something.
Yeah, Great Britain. Okay, if you're watching the next 2 or 3 minutes, we just give you a chance to comment on what we're discussing. We're talking about the governance, how he has taken a new shape, whereby the candidates, those that want to rule, are getting close to people, knowing that the power is in their hands. Unlike before that, they're like, probably we have our machinery, our structure that can give us the power. So we're talking about Buhari says that he did not instruct anybody to disobey the Supreme Court order, now leaving Malami and Emefiele in a tight corner. CSOs, civil societies are saying that they should penalize them and prosecute them.
Penalize who?
Prosecute them for contempt of court.
Who are the CSOs?
You know, everybody can be CSO now.
Okay, this is Nigeria.
Yeah, so
let's see how
we have voice communities. If you're watching, please click on the like button and also comment as we move to the end of the program today. I think let's look at what is happening with the beavers and the inspection, the parties inspecting beavers. Labour Party has 9 days. You know, after an election, you have a space of 21 days to file your case in court. So they need to inspect the beavers to have a local standing. Yeah,
they've not been allowed.
So I don't know what INEC has in plan, because lately INEC has been a bad boy. Yes. Because sometimes some people, they say, I better leave me and Mahmoud, you understand, in one room. I know people are going to commit if they, if they find themselves with the...
You know, all these things, I see it has been, you know, just the normal Nigerian politics. They've planned it. Once you know yourself and you know your enemy, you can defeat your enemy anyhow, any day. But if you don't know your enemy at all, you don't know his strengths, his weaknesses, how you can actually defeat him, then it's as good as even dying before the battle even start at all. So I think they've actually planned these things. They've mapped it out, how the votes would come in, how INEC will refuse to stop counting, to stop collation, even for the fact that they don't have the result on the IRF, then they would not allow anybody to be able to get to the back end of the IRF, so that you would not have adequate information or evidence to bring to the court after 21 days of declaring winner. So all those games are like just going in a circle. So it will get to a stage whereby even those people that are in court, by the time they don't have enough evidence at hand, they would not be able to really stand in front of the court.
I pray this doesn't get us into another problem or chaos or whatever. Okay, with that, we've come to the end of the program. Thank you very much, voice communities, and everyone that have watched and have clicked the like button. Thank you very much for being part of the program. I will say till tomorrow for another exciting edition of the program. Web Watch on Flip. I'm Christian Chuku, and I have my...
Thank you so much for staying with us. We'll meet you here same time tomorrow. I'm Zubi Glad.
Yeah, I'm Olajide Taufik Olamide. Thank you very much for always being part of the program. Till we see you again tomorrow for another exciting edition of Web Watch. Bye for now.
Bye.